Do you hear me very well?
What's that?
Do you hear me good? The light is good?
Yes. Yes. How
Okay.
about
You're
mine?
happy with the lights, or do you want me to put like more lights? Or
No, you're good.
you're good.
You're
I'm good.
good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Absolutely. How's everything going with you?
Yay! Thank you very much for your flexibility. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no worries. No worries. I just laid back down. It's still early in the morning, so it's been pretty good. How are
And
you
it's
doing
Sunday,
today?
I'm I put it on my like alarm, and
Mm-hmm.
that's why I was like, I didn't even check my calendar today, this morning when I wake up. I had
Yeah.
a birthday party yesterday, and
Ah.
anyway, not mine, but my friend. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you got
So
any questions for me?
it's going to be more like a conversational, like two friends talking, or it's going to be that more like
Yeah.
formal, or like how do you like to do that? Or
No, it can. I mean, I'll have questions, but it'll be like two friends talking. But I'm still
okay,
asking
I
you
like
questions. You feel me?
yes, yes, of course. But
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, I like more like a conversation with
yeah,
two friends talking. Yeah,
yeah. Absolutely, me
yeah,
too. We're kindred spirits in that.
exactly. I like that way. Yes.
Okay. All right, we already started, but I do have four questions that I like to ask, or maybe it's three.
Okay.
Um, that I like to ask before we even really get started. And this part is going to be on the air, so you may have to think about some of these. Okay. All
Yes.
right, here's question number one. Sum up, and you should have this, but you may not. I don't know. Sum up your idea of success in one word.
For me, it's trust and unknown.
Okay, so that's
In one word,
that's.
trust, probably.
Why did you pick that?
I feel like because I came up from a very kind of like not easy environment, where I grew
Yeah.
up, and for me, like I this is what I don't like, and I kind of feel like this is I don't like, and
Hmm.
I didn't know what I like, and I just
Okay.
trusted that it's something there I like, and I don't know yet.
Oh, got you. Okay, I like that. I like that.
That's
That's
why it's like
interesting.
trust and unknown. Yes.
Yeah, that's probably the first that I've heard that answer, so I like it. I love different perspectives. Yeah, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. All right, we'll keep it going, and then we'll get into our conversation. Okay. All right, I don't want to say that one. What are you doing today that your future you will thank you for?
I think I've continued to study and evolving with what I'm curious about, and
Hmm.
now I'm studying to be captain. I mean, my ultimate goal become captain on the sailing boat and on the commercial boats, and I started to do that, and it was already like my dream for last 2 years. I spent the time on a sailing boat last year. I started a little bit like engaging with people in the area. I started to do like regatta last year in Montenegro, and I actually enjoy it. It was very fun. And now I'm pushing forward. So I taking my license in this area. So it takes me, of course, time to practice, be in the ocean and do all of that.
Yeah.
So I'm committed to do that because it's all about practice. When you like studying something different, you haven't done it
Hmm.
before. It's like you get to be curious to learn about that and curious to get there and ask a lot of questions. Always ask
Yeah.
questions and
I
learn as much
love
as
it.
you can.
I love it. I love
Because
it.
my
Great.
big dream in 10 years from now, going around the world on a sailing boat.
Ah,
I
so
mean, I don't
it's
know by myself, but I want to be the captain on the boat, yes.
so 10
Because I can
years from now
already travel it.
your future self will thank you for starting your journey today. I love it. Okay. All right, last one. Last one. I promise. Well, last one for these.
Okay.
Knowing what you know now, what would you tell your yester you?
Mm, always believe in yourself. Never give up.
Mm.
And trust that it's always light in the end of the tunnel.
I like it. Words from the wise. I thank you. And that's it for
It's
that.
all shall pass.
I love it. No, that is a great one. I like to say, this is just a moment in time. When you're going through those things, it's just a moment in time, and
Exactly.
you'll get through it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I like it. I like it. All right.
That's true because how you can do like a going through the breakdown because like you have a breakdown. This is why you're going to do the breakthrough. You know that
Mm-hmm.
it's necessary to go through this process because it's
Yeah.
not the first time, right? And like every time
Yeah.
when you know that it's your like let's say your dark days or your sad days, whatever that you want something and it's not there yet, you got to push, continue to push, and continue to believe that you deserve it. It's there for you. It's just not maybe right time in this moment, and it's still
Right.
going to happen.
Mm, mm,
Because you're
mm.
trusting to
You
the
trust. I
process.
was about to go back to that trust. All
Mhm.
right. Well, let's get to it.
When you look back in hindsight, everything is 2020. In hindsight, we make mistakes, we're learning from it. In hindsight, yesterday and your tomorrow. In hindsight, is so much clearer now.
Let's
What does it
go.
mean to be a woman in a world evolving at breakneck speed? And how do we find our voice, claim our power, and shape the spaces around us? I'm talking about you women. My guest today is Asia. Is it Asia or
Yeah,
Aisha? Aisha.
Aisha.
Now you give me the last one, Makara.
Yes, correct.
All right, got it. I have so much problems. Anyway, and Aisha is a resilient Mongolian artist, engineer, and entrepreneur who has defied all odds. From growing up as an orphan in Russia to traveling over 70, good gracious, 70 countries, earning an engineering degree, and even sending her artwork to space. You're going to have to tell us about that one. In this episode, we explore her extraordinary journey, her insights on female empowerment, and the bridge between art, technology, and entrepreneurship. Hello again. How are you doing formally?
I'm doing great. It's such a, I mean, it's been raining all months here in Lisbon. I'm based right now in Portugal, Lisbon. I really enjoyed to be here. And,
Yeah.
but the last months was raining a lot. So it's kind of like affecting a little bit the mood, general. And it's very cold. It's normally, it's not so cold. And
Yeah.
this year has been actually more cold than usual, I would say.
Mm. I
So
know
it's
it's
kind of a
it's
little bit, you know,
it's chilly. It's chilly here. You see
chilly.
this? I got this all the way up to my neck. I'm trying to stay a little warm without turning on the heat. And I'm in California, and I mean it's winter.
Wow,
It's
that's
winter
awesome.
time. Yeah.
What
Well, yours
what
is
part of the
awesome.
California right now? Because I used to live in Los Angeles and Shamrocks for like a while in the downtown LA
Oh, you lived in Sherman Oaks, huh? No, I
for like
live
for
in
4 months.
yeah, I live in Temecula. I mean, Marietta. Have you heard of
Yeah,
that?
I know. Yeah, yeah, I know. I know.
Well, yeah, it's in the Inland Empire. It's a small little city, so I just ask. No, but it's close to SoCal, about 70 miles northeast of San Diego.
Nice. I like San Diego. San Diego is very nice.
It is.
Very,
It is.
like I like the this. It's like a surfing part of California. It's like the most surfers and happy people living there, healthy, happy and
Yeah,
healthy.
happy and healthy. I'm from the East Coast, and I remember when I first moved. I remember when we used to go out. So you have 15-minute breaks at work, and in the East Coast, and I'm not going to say everybody, but just where I was working at, and I was in the armies as well. People would go out on their 15-minute break and smoke. Right? I mean, I was constant smoke, have a conversation, smoke, whatever. I never smoked, but that's neither here nor there. But when I moved to California, they would go out on the 15-minute breaks, and you'd see everybody walking you know, just going out and enjoying nature. I guess because it's nice out, right? But just going out and enjoying nature and walking and just trying to stay healthy. And I rarely saw people smoke. So when you say California and, being healthy and getting out here and doing it, I've experienced it firsthand. So I love it out here, by the way.
I love it too. I'm just feeling like after the COVID, it's changed a little bit because I used to be there like in
Oh.
I think 2018,
Mm-hmm.
for like a while. I've been between San Francisco and LA for like about 6 months, I think, and
Mm-hmm.
I was completely different environment, completely different vibe, and I came back on 2022, and I've been
Mm-hmm.
there for like 7 months, I think. Next time, like 7 or 8 months, and it was completely different vibe. I was like between like Los Angeles, and I have to went like different neighborhoods of Los Angeles, and I tried to figuring out where I want to live, and but, like because I'm an artist, I was doing a lot of like art at that moment of my life,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Mm-hmm.
was working in the Beverly Hills in a gallery over there, and after like I moved to downtown Los Angeles, and I was started to do like more like a project with NFT community, like they also have a huge gallery, NFT gallery there,
Yeah.
but it was mostly like a lot of like things that I don't know if they still do that, but in 2022 it was very like popular and started to kind of like move forward
Mm-hmm.
with NFT, and there was a crypto and all of that, different projects, like a lot of like community gathering, I would say,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
was awesome, like a great time. But the COVID kind of like made people more depressed in California. Like
Oh,
they were not
absolutely.
so like happy that, for example, people in East. Before I moved to LA. I was living in Florida, in Miami for like over 3 years, and
Mm-hmm.
I for me I was super happy there. Like everything was
Yeah.
completely kind of like freedom, liberty, and you can do whatever you want. And
Yeah.
here, like in California, people like who hasn't moved to Florida, I think, during the COVID time of 2021, but they have opportunity to do that. I feel like it's kind of you know affect them in some ways. Like
Yeah.
COVID, I think,
It
affects many people.
Yeah, yeah, it affected things here, because like you mentioned earlier, surfing and all that in San Diego, and people here like to get out and do stuff because it's just a
Yes.
beautiful area. So like similar to Florida, it's very beautiful. It's sunny out the majority of the year. It's been raining the last couple of weeks, but and you like to get out. And when everything just shuts down, I mean, everyone was affected, obviously, but when you have a place where people are just used to getting out, like the beaches were closed, like who does that, right? So COVID did that. And it took a while for them to kind of loosen up the restrictions. And so, I guess if I were to look at it from my perspective, you think, well, COVID hit hard, right? And it was kind of unexpected. And now there's a hesitancy, there is an anxiety in a sense for me. If something like that would happen again, like what would it look like? You know what I mean? Does that ring true to you? Like where were you at when COVID actually happened?
I was in Florida, Miami that time. It's
You
just
were
so
in
funny.
Florida.
I was just starting to do my, I was started working for the meditational center,
Hmm.
and, like just getting my studio, like in the neighborhood that I wanted. I just started to do art classes for like, for the group of people, and for the, I would say for the, like restaurant groups, like, and, I was started to kind of like engaging more in the community, and I was doing what I love. I was doing acro, I was doing yoga, I was doing many like things that I was connected that moment of my life, and just get my dream place, just get my dream my dream set up the way I wanted, the way I imagined for myself, and here I
Mm.
am. The COVID hit, and I'm like, wow. That
Yeah.
was crazy, and I
Yeah.
understand. I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
moved to Miami. It was just a 4 months, I think, in Miami since I moved from Lisbon, and
Okay.
COVID hit, and I felt like, oh my gosh, you haven't. I understand. I don't have friends like a real friends. I mean, you have people you hang out with, but they're not like your friends, like from the
Yeah.
heart. And that's how I learned that I'm alone, completely alone in a completely new city, and I don't know what to do. I don't know how to like organize myself in this situation because people were scary. People was like very, I don't know, like anxious and scared of
Mm.
dying, and I
Yeah.
remember my landlord, she was like, um, she was telling me, oh, I want my mom be here because her mom was living somewhere in another state, and she wants to bring her mom back to the place where I was living. And she said to me, I will give you the money back. I will go give it all the deposit. And I don't know if like I want my mom near me, so like I
Mm.
prefer her to be here. So you get to find a place. And it's not like hurt feelings, but the thing is like, if she's going to die, so I cannot even go and for the funeral. And so she wanted to kind of like make it sure that your mom is at
Yeah.
least near her,
Yeah.
and she's only daughter. So like it was like a whole things. And I found a job as an au pair through the community. That time I was doing leadership training on the landmark. I don't know if you know
Mm-hmm.
about landmark. So I did the whole
Mm-mm.
leadership training about it's like a it's like a organization, how to organize these things, how to live mindful, and kind of like understanding the boundaries, understanding like it's a whole program. It's like 6 months program, and divided different like parts. So
Yeah.
I made it that, and like, and they had a community, online community, that I just like, guys, I just explain all my situation. I just explain where I'm at right now, and I just share my story. And I got the job, like a few families like want to hire me for like a au pair, like for the kids. And
Mm.
the first time I accepted the job, I would never ever, like, let's say, accept it in my life, because I've been already doing the businesses, and I was creating the things that I was like kind of like creating for myself. And here I am, like kind of I've been scared in that moment
Yeah.
as well, because of the I didn't know what next is. But even so, I had like extra 2 weeks of my my apartment to get out. I probably could
Mm-hmm.
find the other options, or like other opportunities. But I was so scared that I was like, oh my gosh, if there's no other opportunities, I don't know what's going to happen with me.
Yeah.
I don't want to end up in the street. I don't want to like kind of being in a position where I don't know what's
Mm-hmm.
next. And I was
Yeah.
like, I'm kind of like a control freak, I would say. And I'm here I am, like I don't have any control over anything. So I got
Yeah.
to accept
Yeah.
some things the way they are. And I don't regret, because I learned a lot of things from kids. I learned about myself. This is how I came with ideas to send my art to the space. I create more dreams. I create a lot of art, like, and next year I send my art to the space. It's many things has like kind of like, all the decision that you're making, I think it's bringing you where you're at today.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel
Yeah.
like that decision for me, it's to work with kids, it's helped me a lot to understand, to be like a child like as well, and kind of like understanding that I actually like a kid, because like I'm living in my own world, and I'm kind of creating these things. I see it for myself. And now I would love to like do something that people see that true. That's my book about joyful living. I just would like to people see how simple life can be when they focusing on just one thing at a time. Like, this is why I feel like when I started to travel, and one of my first dreams was travel around the world, and I was in a not good company at that time. I was living in Russia. I was very young, and like being in such a like very dark places.
Mm.
And no parents, nothing. And I'm like, I was living kind of like I've been living in a shelter. And
Yeah.
the point is, like, in a shelter, nobody cares about you. Like, you do
Mm.
whatever, and like you show up when you want, and do whatever you want. And so, like, in that moment, I was my when my friends started to die. The friends I was hanging
Mm.
out at that time, or like kind of play together, and they started to die of different accidents. And I faced the death, and I said to myself, wow, would I survive until I'm 18? Like, what I want to
Mm.
do I want to like start to live my dreams now? Because I want to travel around the world when I was 10 or 11. And that's I started to kind of like move towards that
Mm-hmm.
idea
Mm-hmm.
of making that for myself possible. So I said to myself, I get to move to the capital. So I get to finish my school. I get to finish like go to the university. Like, and kind of be a good person. Like, in my idea of like what it is to be a good person. Because at school, everyone said to me I'm a bad person. Like, oh, you're just bad. Because when I enter my teens, it was not easy. I was very like um, rebellious, and like fighting with everyone. I was very like aggressive, and
Okay.
because I want to be belong. I want to belong, but the group of people who kind of like nice kids, I would say, they or like rich kids, they didn't want you, because you're like,
Yeah.
oh, they were calling you, oh, you don't have parents, or your mother don't want you, like kind of like very this kind of like very snobbish and nasty way. So, and this the other kids was like who live in the street somehow, like they didn't care, and I was kind of end up to hang out with them a lot of the time, and that's how I started to kind of roll. But I didn't consider myself good and bad. I was just like, I want to belong. That's what I
Yeah.
wanted in that moment. I want to have like
Yeah.
a group of people to hang out with somehow. And
Mm.
when this thing started to happen, I felt like what I'm doing with my life. I got to finish because I stopped to go to the school for like a few months, I think, and
Mm-hmm.
nobody cares. Like I think nobody even like kind of tell me, oh, you get to go to the school. I just kind of like decided to make through that because I was like, I got to put myself together again and just do what I want to do because nobody will live my dreams. It's up to me to do
Mm-mm.
that. So I
Yeah.
set up my goals until I'm 60 that time. I was like, I wrote like what I'm going to do between 20 to 30, between 30 to 40, between 40 to 50, between 50 to 60. And that moment of my life when I was 15, 14 or 15, I said to myself, 60 years is such a long life. And now I think it's like different, but that moment when you're almost 15, you like, and you
Mm-hmm.
facing the death, you kind of like thinking like 60 years is a very, very long life. So I, created my life until I'm 60 that time and what I want to do. And I actually do that. I actually like, when I look around like back and stuff, I actually live it up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what I wrote to myself, what I want to do. The thing is like, because of the death. I think because of facing the death in such an early age, and
Mm-hmm.
the people that you were just hang out with today, and tomorrow they're not like next day they're not here anymore, and you kind of like started questioning yourself, like
Mm.
why it's
Yeah.
like happening. But at least
Yeah.
I do. I don't know about other people.
Mm-hmm.
I like to question things. So like I kind of like I do my journaling since I'm 9 years old. I think I
Mm-hmm.
like writing a lot, and I wrote a lot of like fairy tales and novels when I was like a teenager,
Mm-hmm.
just for myself. I was doing it for
Mm-hmm.
myself. So like I feel like every time in our life we get to have the dreams, and the things is it's up to us to live them. It's
Mm-hmm.
up to us to decide how many of these dreams we want to live and when we want to do that. Because we have just one life.
Mm.
And we have a time for everything in the same time.
Yeah. Wow, you packed a punch with that one.
Oh,
So
thank
so
you.
let's so let's no so let's go back. So my question is how did those earlier experiences like help shape your resilience and your drive today? And I heard a little bit about it. You question things, you look at things, you plan, you have goals. What is something more specific from those early experiences that that helped shape your resilience?
I think like it was because I observing. I like to observe things, and I also understand when I'm entering the space. I
Hmm.
observe everything around this space and I observe myself. And I also can do zoom in, zoom out. I can say to myself, do I like myself? Do I enjoy being
Mm.
in that space? For example, when I end up in my teens, end up in not good company, I really enjoyed to be in that company. Like when I started to ask myself, do I really bad? That what teachers said to me. Oh, you're bad girl right now. You're doing this. Not you drinking.
Yeah.
You like you don't coming to the school. You like forgetting to do your homework. And I've been a good girl for so many years, and here I am like just for a few months, whatever. Maybe like it was just like 6 months, whatever of my life. But the thing is like for them, it switched so fast. And I'm like,
Mm.
and I started to kind of zoom in and zoom out. Why people judging you just because like you stop to fit
Wow.
the reality or like the box that they're putting you in, and now you're not in that box anymore. So for them, when you're not in that box anymore, you're the bad person. Like, and
Yeah.
they don't even try to communicate with you what happened with you, what's going on in your life. They don't even ask you questions what you're going through. They're just judging you right away. And I'm
Mm.
feeling like
Hmm.
that what I'm learning through my life. I said like I don't judge myself right away because I'm saying to myself it's just like the process I'm going through right now, and I don't know why I'm going through. And I ask myself, do I enjoy it right now? And
Yeah.
when my answer is yes, I continue to do that. And when my answer is going to be no, I would say it's enough, because I will not question things like and judge myself what I've done was good or not good. I was like, it's just experience. As any
Mm,
other experience in life, it's experience itself. That what matters. And
yeah.
this experience will bring me somewhere else next. I don't know where. Right now, I just know that it will lead me to my next dream that I get to live. Because we have one life, and this one life we have opportunity to live all our dreams that we imagine for ourselves, because we are powerful creators. We can
Hmm.
create any life we deserve and we desire, and any life we imagine for ourselves is just one step at a time. And be brave to face it, and
Mm,
acknowledge it and say, yes, I want to do that. Yes, I'm here to create that for myself in the first place. That's how I
yeah.
feel like every time when I've been in that space. I grew up in completely like nowhere, from nothing, and no
Hmm.
parents, nothing, no money. I was always sharing these things. I didn't have like idea of the money or idea of the clothes or my clothes or my room or something like that. So when I entered the adult life or started to go to the university, and I share. I still share, but after like slowly, when I
Hmm.
moved to Norway, I started to get my things. Like my room. So it's become kind of like I started to learn my things. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so interesting. It's mine. Right now it's
Yeah.
mine. What is mine? So
Yeah.
it's changing, a little bit, and you kind of like creating your own bubble after a while when you're
Right.
understanding like
Wow.
with who you want to engage and why, and why you're doing what you're doing, and why you want to be good, or like for the society, why society or church putting these ideas on the people. This is the good things, this is not good things. If you do this, it's going to be good for you. No, if when you're living with your heart, and this your heart want to do this, just do it. Don't question like why church or why God, why. I'm feeling like
Mm,
we're here to experience human life in a human body, and when our body wants to experience something, it's for the good, because this is
mm,
why we're here. When our heart beats so fast, that's what matters, that's what we get to live in. Like every time when we're shaking and our heart is beating up so strong or so powerful, that's
mm.
now a next, we get to through towards that experience ourselves. Don't be scary, be curious and excited.
I
That's how
love
I
your.
look at it, at least.
I love no. I love your perspective. I love your perspective. It's so freeing. It's so freeing. And I guess part of it comes from from the upbringing and the different perspectives. And then you've traveled to over 70 countries. You're an artist. I can hear it in your vocabulary, the things that you're saying. You're creative. But what were some of the pivotal moments that influenced like your world view and artistic expression?
I think it was in the first place observation of kids. I sometimes I'm
Mm,
going to the like a playground with a lot of kids, and I just like looking at the kids, and I see like, oh my gosh, it's just all life it's happening in this playground, everything in one spot. When you started to observe kids, some of them crying, some of them fighting, some of them playing, some of them like have a conversation, some of them like just guiding through, or like, oh, let's do this, like, and they it's just so much going on in the playground with kids, because they're all living in the moment.
yeah.
And when we're observing them, I'm like, that's the whole like playground of the world, when you started to look at it. And we just forget to play, and we forget to kind of like play with each other and be in the moment, and actually be open enough to understand each other, like be
Yeah.
open enough to like appreciate each other company from the heart, appreciate that we can share this moment together. And I feel like kids, when they're playing with each other and they fight in the moment, they 5 minutes later they come and say, I'm sorry, I want to hug you, and they hug each other, and they don't have the same, and they continue to play with each other. They don't have this idea of, I'm upset about you, I'm disappointed of you, like adults do, like, and I feel like
Hmm.
we can learn so much from the kids. That's what I like to do. We like every time I'm observing them, I'm like, they're living so much in the moment, and they don't
Yeah.
care about yesterday or tomorrow. And they, when you say to them, in 10 minutes we're going home, for them 10 minutes is like, they don't understand the idea of 10 minutes or 1 hour or something like that. They're just playing and say like, okay, I can play this whatever the parents will take me, when it's not moment anymore to play. So like, they don't have the idea of reality that we're living in, or like idea of the time, or idea of what it is to be good or bad. They authentic themselves, the purity
Mm.
of ego, or whatever you call it, the purity of themselves in the moment. They cry when they feel to cry. They fighting with you when they feel to fight with you. They have everything in the moment, all the emotion going through them in the moment. They
Mm.
don't have any judgment of themselves, why I'm doing what I'm doing. They just do it. And that's why I feel like when I'm observing playground of the kids, I'm learning so much from the perspective of the kids, and all of them are so different. And the same time,
Yeah.
all of them so the same, because
Yeah.
they're just all living in the moment. And I would love people live more in the moment and really appreciate the moment that we share with each other.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. All right. I love it. Pay attention to the kids. I used to always ask that question, like for me. I mean, you got to be an adult and act like an adult. But for me, I've never really lost the child in me, in a sense. I don't know how to really explain it. But I look at people and they're so stern, and I don't know their background. I don't know that. Like, if I had met you, I wouldn't know that you had been an orphan, right? And you were, things weren't so great for you because you're smiling and you're happy and you're beautiful. All of these things are going, for you. So I guess you talked earlier about people judging. So I would judge based off of what I see, right? And not really
Exactly.
understand, your experiences throughout life. But my point is, I do wonder why people, as we get older, get so serious. And it's like you forget to be a child. And maybe it's they want to be professional in public and they childlike at home, or, in their own environment. And I can accept that. Right. But it just seems like there's a lot of animosity, a lot of hatred going on, a lot of, all of these things without the opportunity to, you talked about the kids earlier, to hug and make up and have a conversation. It's just drawing the line and that's it. And it's sad. Bless you.
Yes. Sorry. I
No
agree.
worries.
That's why I'm feeling like when people fighting, adults fighting with each other, like for example, husband and wife, or when you're fighting with your mother or father, and I'm
Hmm.
feeling like sometimes it takes a month to kind of like have a conversation. And I used to
Yeah.
say to the people, listen, you have a disagreement about something. You have agreements about so many other things. Why you decided to focus on this one disagreement that you have right now, and spending
Yeah.
so much time on negativity and going on a loop like again and again and again, instead to focusing on the things that's there for you, all the beauty that you created together, And I'm feeling like
Yeah.
people getting too in the heads instead to go back to the heart, and they don't
I
allow
like that.
themselves to forgive themselves in the first place,
I
and
like that.
they forget to like you like practice forgiveness. Forgiveness of the like, I got to forgive myself first, go and give that hug. It's not about like who is mistake, or who did it, who blame is, or something like that. It's about have the like forgive myself and just go and give the hug to the human being, because I love that human being. It's like I've been spending so much time with other human being, and like why this conversation or this situation get to change the perspective of the things. This
Hmm.
is a major situation, of course. The things that you get to go through this still conversation and understand the boundaries, understand, some things about what is respect, what is like, how you can communicate with each other as adults and still be playful as a kid, you know?
Yeah.
And many times people for too much adult that to be too serious about things instead to be playful about things. And
Yeah. Yeah.
my invitation to the people, like every time when I just like I want to hug, I said, do you want to hug? That's what I like, kind of like my way. I don't want to like fight with people. I don't see the point of fights at all,
Mm.
because I think from the fights you don't learn so much, and you learn through the conversation and be open, creating that like creating the space or like open space where
Mm-hmm.
each of us can share our differences, you know, and understand what our values is and what our principles is, and do we have them or do we get to add them, you know, what works for us, what doesn't work for us, you know, what works in our relationship very well, and what don't work in our relationship very well. So
Yeah.
we get to get clarity on creating, I call like a container where each of us feeling comfortable, feeling
Yeah.
loved, feeling
Yeah.
safe. You know, I don't like to protect myself every time when, or like prove myself. You know, I feel like
Mm.
that's not right. Why I get to feel that I get to prove myself about something or protect myself about something if the other person doesn't understand me or like doesn't want to understand me or doesn't listen when I'm saying something. So
Yeah.
I'm not here to teach anyone. I'm here to like guide, you know, because I don't know myself either. I just
Mm.
know that I'm living my life and I'm living my dream, and I do what I love, and that's what matters for me, and I wish other people do the same. And in my world or like in my life, I always giving space to the people to be authentic themselves
Mm.
because I'm authentic myself, and I trust that other people authentic themselves too, you know. And every time when I'm getting like upset or like something like that, I'm asking myself why I'm getting upset. Like I'm asking myself first why I'm doing that to myself. Why I'm
Mm.
like, you know, feeling this. So I started to
Yeah.
switch it around and I said to myself, you know what? I don't want to do that to myself anymore. I want to give more love towards myself, give more like appreciation and more like giving more like understanding that I'm loved and I'm safe. You know, like the angels or source or whatever you believe in. You know, like it's there for you to protect you no matter what, and giving you the best possible way to experience this life here and now. And
Mm.
I believe people like don't even think about that. And for me, it's like it's grounding me. You know, the gratitude, the, my journaling, and meditation, or like my morning routines. I feel like everything is kind of like make me who I am today. You know, more peaceful within myself. I don't like, for example, have conversations that doesn't make sense in my world. When I see that in the same time when I'm having this conversation with people, I'm saying very direct to them what I feel about that, because I
Mm.
feel in the first place. You know, I use my like I'm listening to my heart
Mm-hmm.
before I'm communicating with other people.
Mm.
That's kind of my my
That's
way
your
of
thing.
being. Yeah, it's my thing. Being
I like
artist
that.
is a one of these, you know, like the artist
Yeah.
way is a it's a living with the heart, because we're going through the hardships, and you know, and it's normal for us. We're not scared to live life. We're very like
Yeah.
open to live it and enjoy it like a kids do.
Now, now I do want to ask you a question, and I love your perspective. I really do. Your answers, the way you look at people, the way you look at yourself, is a message that needs to be resonated throughout. And hopefully enough people hear this, because it really starts with you and how you're living your life, right? Living for you, not for everybody else. It's awesome. But you had a perspective, you've had experiences, you've been to all of these different countries. And I just want to know, in what ways has being a woman in a fast developing world impacted any opportunities and challenges that you've faced? You got a unique perspective in just seeing how it is, globally in a sense. So,
Yes, I mean, saying yes, like I would like for me, for example, when I was living in Russia, and before I moved to Norway, the perspective, because I was, you know, it was my country where I was my childhood, and you know, I developed myself as a my student years, and when I moved to Norway and I started to face the reality there, I understand how powerful women there, for example, how powerful I am, how easy for me to get a job, how easy for me to, you know, to create absolutely anything I wanted to create. It was so easy and so simple, and I get like doors was open for me like in such a beautiful and
Good.
easy ways, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
feeling like how women are very, very powerful in Norwegian society, and the way they, um, I would say, face the power. It's they become more masculine, and me too.
Mm.
When I was living there, I become way more masculine than feminine because I was working as an engineer. My environment was a male dominant. I was just a few women who was working in that environment in my team, so I was feeling like you get to be like a man in acting,
Mm-hmm.
like in jokes and all of that. It was like a little bit harsh,
Yeah,
sometimes,
it is
and
very
especially for the
harsh.
young women. And I feel
Yeah.
like you still get to face it, and you still kind of. I started to kind of act after like some time. I said to them like, you get to act better. I'm a woman, and I started to kind of put that card out. I said you get to be one more respectful, when I'm around, to like not talk like this about other women or like general about women. And I started to kind of fight after a while because I felt like that was not right, and I started to kind of like be more mindful around the topic to be a woman. And like I started to kind of like dress up more nicely. I started to put like a dresses on me with a little bit of makeup, and started to do like waffles every Friday for everyone. And I started to make a coffee on Fridays for everyone, for the whole team, and like just having more, like I would say, this nourishing conversation around the table every
Yeah.
Friday, so people actually enjoy it, and they appreciate the idea that I started to bring in. And I felt like I was doing it because I just people started to talk for like for real, like what it is
Yeah.
there that we can actually find the solution, how we can collaborate together, how we can find a way to be better, and that
Mm-hmm.
was my one of the things that I probably good at it, and like it just like natural for me. And when I moved to Portugal and become a businesswoman here. I was working as a tourist, I had a property management company. So like it was again, it was very male dominant environment that I was using that high heels, and I was putting makeup, like earrings, and always being like nice and showing like I was feeling to be a woman in a different cultures and a different countries is completely different. For example, the energy I was putting in
Mm.
when I was living in Norway was completely different. The energy I was putting in here in Portugal, and when I was living in Russia, for example, in Moscow, I still been very little girl. I was like very young, and I was not understanding what it is to be a woman. I was like 17, 18, and I was just running around as crazy. I had my non-profit organization that time, and I was just all the time working, 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 working for like putting
Mm-hmm.
this orphan together because I come from orphan. So when I started to go to the orphan house and I was studying in the university, I was doing like a lot of organization. I was a leader of the class. I was doing a lot of things like organizing, organizing, organizing. So I didn't look at myself as a woman. I just look at myself like
Mm.
just a human who likes to do things, always kind of like to organize things, move things together, move things forward, like communicating, giving the tasks, like. And
Mm.
when I moved to Norway and Portugal, I started to get clarity a little bit better on the idea of the woman. And when I moved to America, to Florida, and after to Los Angeles, the idea of the woman, it's so blurry. I was so confused there because I'm feeling
Mm-hmm.
like what it is to be a woman. Like here is like not even understanding of the woman. So
Mm.
and I remember when as an artist, I was confused. The first time in my
Mm-hmm.
life, I was confused to understand and explain even to the people the idea of the woman. And I said to them, oh, and they said, oh, you're the classy one then. You're the classy traditional uh, woman. You're like very, like, you just like to be very, like a tradition organizing things, put things together, like doing this. It's very traditional way, old
Yeah.
school. And I'm like, okay, that's mean I'm an old school, like an old lady. Like my idea of being classy woman, or like in a classy way, just be a normal woman, like and have like my ideas of the way I'm working on the things, like and organizing them as a woman, and male or man does his work, and I communicating with him the way he get to organize his work or like do his things. So like I
Mm.
didn't even never consider myself like I'm the old school classy lady. I'm just me, and I have this idea of the way I want to organize things and communicate them. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't have um this blurriness, I would say, like us, like the transgender right now. We have different issues that we facing in the world, right? And it's
Mm-hmm.
not
Mm-hmm.
just one thing; it's many, 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 many other things. So, like, of course, you're getting confused, and
Yeah.
I feel as a woman, you get to kind of like find that center within yourself and
Mm.
be authentic yourself and understanding I'm a human in the first place, and
Yeah.
I'm in a woman body. Like in the same time, I have a both in me. I have female energy and masculine energy. At the same time, I'm a feminine, so I get to channel as much as I can the feminine out of me, and I get to just have the ideas what it is the
Mm-hmm.
feminine from my side,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing my best. I'm like, it's a gathering people, it's nourishing, it's have a conversation, it's like be playful, be like kind of mother like in the same time being like a kid like in the same, like it's so many things. Woman is everything. Woman given
I
birth to
know.
the planet earth, and she has like she has incredible way of seeing. She's inspiration, like if the real
Yeah.
woman, when she embody her female energy, she can be a great inspiration for others, and I'm feeling like she's the inspiring, she's the how to she's the visionary, she creates the vision, the man who is going to like build that vision, and she's the one who's nourishing, continue to trusting that other the male would create that vision that she has. She get to continue to just be a woman, like just helping, smiling, being happy, being joyful, being dancey, being nourishing, and
Mm.
continue be kind, and like continue be um I feel like a nice, but whatever nice is from the perspective of the female energy is, feeling like when we started to channel it from the heart again, so like it's create a completely different outcome, completely
Yeah.
different reality that we're living in, because people want to be with you because they feel this warmth from you. They're feeling this like safety around you. They're feeling this like you kind of like hugging them with this very nourishing and nice energy, and they like to be around you. They want to
Yeah.
help you, they want to support your dreams, they want to support your you as a like in the first place. And because you're giving them completely different um, perspective or completely different love, that's
Mm.
like right now it's so blurry as well. The idea of love is also blurry now, modern society, and I'm feeling like everything is just, if we're going to the roots, it's all the same. It's just we get to kind of breathe in and breathe out to understand what matters for us in this
Mm.
lifetime.
Yeah.
What I am, like what it is for me to be a great woman, what it is for asking these questions, what it is for me to be a great mother, what it is for me to be a great sister, what it is for me to be
Mm.
a great big great grandmother, like just have these ideas and started to practice them through a day, you know and just be
Mm.
mindful about that, what
Yeah.
it is to be a great mother. Just put some task, what it is. I don't know, each of us would have a different answer to that, but ask yourself these questions, and I'm feeling
Mm-hmm.
like what it is to be a great woman. Just write down the things and just be that, start to practice, see what you get to add from that list into your life, what you get to practice more, and just do it. It's like no other way. It's just about starting to do it today, like, and make this happen for yourself in the first place, and and have fun and enjoy it. That's how
Love the
that's
perspective.
where we get to have the perspective and just play it out ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. All right. In 2023, and tell me if this year is correct or if it's wrong, you became one of the first artists to send your artwork to space. Can you
Yes.
share the story? Just tell us a little bit about the story behind this milestone.
2022 was completely crazy year of my life. One of the craziest, I think, because end of the 2021, I decided I said I've been an art basel, one of the art basel artists in Miami. And I said to myself, what's next? You know, because I accomplished this dream and I knew that next year, if I come back to the art basel, I can easily come back. You know, it's not a big deal. And I already
Mhm.
know the network. So I decided to be hippie. Like I've been already in a hippie community in Florida and I enjoyed it. I said, okay, I'm going to buy the van and I'm going to travel from the festival to festival and I'm going to like dressing up funny, you know, like and just sell my
Mhm.
art. And it was very easy for me to sell my art. I get like art collectors and it was like very easy to make money and like living my dream life because I already knew that I'm living my dream. And my one day I was working in Miami. One day my van was broken in, and
Mm.
absolutely everything was stolen from me. All my documents, all my life was gone in one day. So I get to go and
Wow.
ask for support from the hippie community because before I was always independent, you know, always like taking care of myself, and I always find solution for myself. And here I am, like no documents, no money, nothing, and my van is completely destroyed and I don't know what to do. And so I ended up in a hippie community, and I said, I was starting to help them out, you know, like with the organization, with the festivals and other things. I get to travel with them every time when they
Wow.
get to go somewhere because I get
Yeah.
to like make a little bit of money, and nobody will hire me with no more, nothing, you know, like so I get
Right.
to just accept my role where what I was in that moment. And what happened is months later that my friend, she sent me on Instagram, she said to me, she's an artist. She said to me, "Oh, Aisha, look, this is the opportunity that is connected to your dream, sending art to the space." And I said, "Oh, cool." So I applied. I sent the application. I applied. I've been selected. I went through the interview. I sent out the contract, and I sent to all my artist friends this application form. Nobody did it. Nobody done it. Nobody. And I've said like,
Mm.
and after 6 months later, when my art was in the space, and they were like telling me, Paige, how did it happen? How did you send your art to the space? How did it like I said like that because that was connected to my dream, because that is connected to what I wanted to do in my lifetime. And I just
Mhm.
knew this is lifetime opportunity. Maybe the next opportunity will come again if I will not be accepted in this one. I knew
Yeah.
that this is the lifetime opportunity, so I get to at least do my best to try it. Of course, it was not easy because I was in a festival. I didn't have any tools to create, so I got to be very, very creative. No internet. And they give like 1 week deadline to do everything. I supposed to send like 8 artworks, and I
Wow.
managed that to do. Yeah, I managed to do like three of them, and I was thinking like if I had like a send eight, maybe they choose seven of them. Who knows? Anyway, so like they selected two of them, but and I sent three artworks, and they selected two, and it's flying somewhere in the space right now. So like it was not easy process, and from
Yeah.
the whole perspective of resilience, right? Like and
Yeah.
really embody your dreams and not looking what you don't have, focusing what you have. In this case, I was focusing that I have myself. And it's up to
Yeah.
me to make this dream possible because it's my dream. I want to live it and
Yeah.
I want to create that for myself. And I talk to everyone like kids do, you know, like just talk to everyone. You get to help me. I want to do this. I was just talking to absolutely everyone. Whenever I have a moment not working, I was like, I got to send it and no internet, no phones. I didn't have a phone. I didn't have anything. I got to always like ask for support from others to give me a phone for a second, give me a tool, give me like, you know, things to create. And I get to use, let's say, resources from around me and be
Mhm.
vulnerable enough to accept yes or no from other people and not be upset about that. You know, just be
Yeah.
open and continue to ask for support, continue to kind of like trusting that someone there want to really help and support from the heart. And that happened, like that's how you live your dream, when you're trusting to the process and trusting people around you that they really want you as well to live your dream. And that's what I learned. You get to share as much as you want with other people. Some people will be very happy to help you with your dream. Some people don't, and it's okay.
Yeah.
That's life. Some people will be very motivated by you. Some people don't. Some people will be irritated by you. So it's fine. Like you cannot please everyone. We're here to please ourselves in the first place.
Wow. Hey, I love the words you use. You were vulnerable. You allowed yourself to be, put yourself in a vulnerable space, and you needed others to assist you in that moment, in that space that you were in. And I was in the military, and for many service members who are transitioning from the military to civilian life, they struggle with reinvention. What advice do you have for those trying to redefine their identity and a career path? And you gave a whole lot of different things, like your vulnerability, your creativity, accepting what's available to you in that space and creating from that, right? So, what besides those that you've already given us, what's something that they can do to help to kind of recreate themselves when they get out of the military?
Vulnerability is one of the not easy, I would say, way to connect with. I mean, to connect with vulnerability, it's not easy. It's kind of it put you in a situation where you get to accept the support. And what I learned from my side, being vulnerable in the beginning and the
Mm-hmm.
first time when this happened with for me, it's like I just feel weak. I feel that I don't have any powers. I feel powerless. And of course, in the beginning, I didn't like it. And after I said to
Yeah.
myself, you know what? It's fine. It's opportunity for me to learn about myself in completely different
Mm.
space where I never been. And now the universe or God give me this opportunity to be in that space, to learn to trust other people, that they want me well, they want me to be in the community, they want me to succeed in the way that
Mm-hmm.
they see success is, whatever it is. And they want me well, they want me to be like fitted, and have a roof and have shelter, have everything that I needed to take care of myself, to start to kind of build myself up again. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
it took a time to like really um, appreciate that, or like to understand, because when you're living in a world that you create for yourself, and you kind of like independent, and you do absolutely everything what you want, and here you are, you cannot do anything, like for yourself, because you don't have any kind of tools to create any right now anything. In the same time, you get to trust other people who would
Mm.
create for you that space, and you
Mm.
get to kind of like just enter that space because you're vulnerable. And in the beginning, like it scares me, and I feel like
Mm-hmm.
for many people who is right now in a vulnerable position, yes, it's scary in the beginning. And after a while, what we get to do is accept that. Be like, accept within ourselves. Be in peace about that. That is just a saying. It's just a phase of our life that we get to went through, or go through. It's like, and be still appreciating this lifetime because we are alive. We're still alive,
Mm.
and it's opportunity to be better. It's opportunity to understand actually the world wants you here. The world wants you to succeed. The world loves you really from the old perspective. And it's like it's so gentle. It's like when you're
Yeah.
communicating, oh, I feel like it was not gentle enough, or like I'm feeling a little bit, it hurts me, or something like that. So you get to communicate that too. And people would, listen to you, who want to listen, they would listen, and they would, be better and be more
Mm-hmm.
gentle. People who doesn't want to listen, they would not listen, and it's okay. It's not your people. The thing is, people, you don't need to scream or yell or cry, and you can do that too. If it work, if many times it's working when you're crying, actually, like a woman. I don't used to cry, but
Yeah.
the thing is that I know it can work out. Like when you started to cry a lot, and it will,
Yeah.
in a vulnerable position, you get more attention and more support. In this case, but at the same time, I'm like always figuring out in a peaceful and kind of gentle way first for yourself to communicate your needs and wants with others and accept their
Mm,
support just the way they want to give you the support and appreciate that you have that support in your life.
I love it. I love it. All right. I've asked you a few questions. I haven't asked you about your book, so maybe you want to talk about your book. But is there anything that we haven't covered that you like to share today?
I think we cover like most of the things very like deep. Actually, I
Yeah,
was
you did.
sharing a lot of insights about my philosophy of life and the way I'm enjoying my life and continue to appreciate and enjoy things and create opportunity. And I know that life has a different phases, because like that's what that you're learning. This is how you learn that life is up and downs. And when you look at that all your life, it's always up. You're
Yeah.
always growing and learning, and
Trending
that
upward.
what yes, and you're getting wiser. You're getting way more um like peaceful within. And I feel like when I'm like one day when I'm going to be 40, like I feel I it will be completely different me. And the same time, it's still going to be me that will live a lot of a different speed of life. I feel like in my 20s, I was living so fast. Like I was experiencing so many amazing things, and I in my 30s, I kind of like a little bit more slow down because like I'm
Mm-hmm.
feeling like I'm grounding myself more. I'm not like rushing anymore the things I want to experience in my life. I'm just really enjoying my life just the way it is. And I really know that I'm really living my joyful life and my dream life. And it's
Mm,
just getting better and better and more colorful, more like exciting and magical. So more I'm open towards, I would say, the play and with the universe or with like energy, it's just getting so like I cannot even describe with words how magical it can go. And always trust in magic as well. Like always like I
mm,
trust in magic because I believe in the fairy tales. One of my escape when I was a kid living in my darkness, like everything was nobody communicating with you, nobody talking to you, everyone just beating you up, punishing you, screaming at you. And kids is
mm,
not nice to each other either. So you're living in a
mm.
completely like kind of brutal environment. So my escape was a fairy tales. I was like staying in the library for like for hours, was reading a lot of
Wow.
books. And for me, I really love creating that fairy tale. And now when I'm adult, I'm like, why we cannot like create our own fairy tale and just,
Mm.
like slowly trusting that it's possible. And
Yeah.
we are here to live our fairy tale adventure because why not?
Why not? I love it. I love it. So, how can the listeners connect with you and learn more about your work and what it is that you're doing, what you're going to do next? I love your philosophy on life. Like, how can they reach out? How can I reach out? How can I learn more about what you got going on?
You can go to my website, learn about my project and about me, about my art and what I'm doing right now. It's my Aisha that today is AISHA dot today, and you can also Google Joyful Living Guidebook in all platforms right now around the world, where you can find my art in the book and some different recommendation of what it takes to live joyful life where I'm just guiding people from my own experience of life,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm inviting them to actually create their own joyful life. So yeah,
I
I'm also doing like my mentoring. I have a mentorship program,
Wow.
3 months,
Okay.
6 months, and 12 months. It's also on my website. I'm developing right now my second website. It's called joyfullivings.com about my online program and the things I'm doing about joyful living. So like everything that's connected to the joyful living.
I I got one other question for you. You had some art where you said two pieces got sent out into space. You didn't have a phone at a time. I don't know if you had a camera at a time. Do you have a photo or do you have an image of what that artwork is that's out in space right now, or only the
Yeah,
aliens get to
it goes
appreciate
on
it?
my website. You can go to
Okay, okay,
you can
good.
check it out and go down like at one of my projects, and on my website you can see like my art in the space is article about that, and it's my art there in the golden plates and I would say like my drawings
I
that been
love it.
selected.
All
And
right,
soon
Aisha.
I'm going to the space as well.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I was getting ready. I was getting ready to do the outro. What do you mean? What do you mean? You're going to space? First, you want to be a captain of a ship to sail around the world,
No,
but
no,
now
no.
you just
That's the part of the project that they're sending our art to the space, and the probability we've been selected probably going to be the first astronaut artist. Been
oh
sent to the space. So the project is still on hold because
yeah.
you never know. The
Uh,
things is like with these things you never know how how long it's going to take. In reality it's supposed to take like 4 years or 6 years. We're supposed first to send their art, and after like 4 years after that we get to send, they supposed to send our like me or the artist to the space. And now the project on hold, so
oh
we don't know when it's going to happen. And
yeah.
the thing is it's exciting times.
You are you,
It's really
so
exciting. Yes,
that's
captain is my dream. It's connect. I mean,
ho,
setting myself
ho,
to the like
uh Hold on, no. I got that. That's your dream. We're gonna go back to the space thing. So are you? You say it's exciting times. Are you excited? Are you nervous about that? Are you scared? Are you looking forward to it? Tell me about.
I'm
Just
looking
give me a few
forward.
words. You
I'm
looking
looking
forward to
forward
it?
to, yes. It's very like from my perspective it's super exciting. It's like the
That's dope.
opportunities that we have
That's
in
dope.
our lifetime. I feel like we get to be excited what we can
Yeah.
create. And
Oof.
when I was working with kids, I forgot to tell you that I sent my art to the Elon Musk, to Jeff Bezos, and to the
Mm-hmm.
Richard Branson, and I asked Elon Musk to send my art to the space. That's what I did with the SpaceX. I asked Richard Branson to send me to the space to do art, and I asked Richard Branson to paint his rocket with my art. And
mm,
I send them my artworks, and I feel
yeah.
like it's we get a dream and we get to share our dreams with others, and that I
That's
feel it's opportunity of how creative we can be. And it's not in the end of the day it's not about money, it's about experience, life
mm-hmm.
experience that we are here to experience.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, I love it. Thank you. That was the ending that we needed for this. You were taking it to the stars. And this is really been an amazing conversation. Aisha, your story is a testament to resilience, reinvention, and the power of embracing one's voice in a changing world. From engineer to entrepreneur, from property management to space-bound artwork, your journey is nothing short of inspiring. And I thank you for sharing your insights and reminding us to chase our dreams fearlessly.
Joyful living, namaste. Thank you very much, guys.
All right. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe to Hindsight the Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, or your favorite podcast platform. And remember, obstacles are temporary, but resilience lasts a lifetime. See you next time.
Bye for now.
Hey, thanks for joining me here on Hindsight the Podcast. I'm your host, Lee Jones. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know I did. And while I have you here, why don't you take your mouse, go over and click on that subscribe button? No, not right there. Over to the right. No, down, right there. Boom. Thank you. Now, thank you for subscribing to Hindsight the Podcast. I'm your host, Lee Jones.